So hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am BlackOpsAmazing and today I have a very interesting video for you. Who is he? Who is this dark, mysterious, shadowy character in our zombie storyline? Who took Samantha? Why did he bring her back? Is he involved with Maxis' big secret that he is keeping from us? Today that's exactly what we're going to talk about. Hopefully you enjoyed the video and let's get into it. So we first hear properly about he recently in ZETSUBOU no SHIMA, but Maxis talks and links up to him within the Giants. New Maxis and Richtofen's plan is to go around destroying universes, killing all of the 01 versions of Takeo, Nikolai, Dempsey and Richtofen, so that horrible event that happened in Moon where they destroyed the Earth, Richtofen took over the zombies, Samantha killed every last reminiscent of Group 935, so all of that cannot happen, and in order to do that we need to destroy all of the universes that contain these 4 characters. But alongside that, on the note, it also seemed like Maxis had a goal of getting his daughter back. Now before we thought maybe Maxis accidentally teleported Samantha away and he lost her, or something happened to Samantha, we didn't exactly know. But we now know Samantha was taken by he. She was taken by this dark, mysterious character. She was taken from the house to somewhere with he, and she has now been returned. But Maxis still talks about him. Well, if you first take a listen to the radios we had in the Giant from Maxis, and then we'll come back after. Maxis starts off by saying, "Whoever you are, wherever you are, I have one message. One message that must be remembered at all costs. The child must be protected." Now, I first thought when I heard this, and I'm sure everyone else did, that Maxis was just talking to, I don't know, a random person out there if they found Samantha to freaking protect her and return her back to him when they could. But no, Maxis in this radio, when he says whoever you are, wherever you are, is talking to he. The shadowy figure who came up to the door of Maxis' house and took Samantha. We don't know who he is or even what he is, but in this, Maxis is saying whoever you are, wherever you are, make sure that she is protected. Maxis is talking to he. And that's what we're going to refer to him as. He doesn't have a name. We're just going to say he or this shadowy figure. Now later on in the Giant radios, we find out that Samantha was returned to Maxis. After she was taken, she was later on returned. He says, "She may have been returned to me, but I fear she is not as she was."
She may have been returned to me, but I fear she is not as she was. In recent months, she has barely said a word. When she did, it was only to cry out for him, to call his name. What have I done?
It seems that this message is recorded months after she was returned to Maxis. He says she has barely said a word. When she did, it was only to cry out for him, to call his name. What have I done? So you can see after Samantha was taken by him or he, we can presume it is the same person, the same character, the same shadowy figure. After Samantha was taken by him and returned, she now hasn't said a word other than to cry out for him, to call his name. So we can presume he has a name, but the cipher this radio messages aren't telling us. If he has a name, then could it be someone we know? Again, we don't know. However, Samantha, after being returned to Maxis months later, she is still crying out his name for whatever reason. And Maxis says, "What have I done?" Showing that Maxis was the one that gave Samantha to him. He didn't just come up and take her, or at least from this, I would presume that he didn't, just kidnap Samantha. This kind of makes it sound like Maxis surrendered Samantha and gave her to him. Whatever bargain they made together, maybe he said to Maxis that I will protect her for you. But Maxis says, "What have I done?"
Day 66. The children are gone, and the house feels empty. I miss their laughter, their games.
He then finishes off in the Giant by saying day 66. Now, I don't know if these radios are in corresponding order. We don't know if Samantha was taken several times from this house and then returned several times too. I would presume she was only taken once and then returned, but that's something we're not sure about. However, he says the children are gone and the house feels empty. I miss their laughter, their games. And I almost forgot, but we also have Eddie too. Now, it's not clear in the radios whether Eddie was taken. Maxis does say the children are gone, so both Eddie and Samantha are missing, but other than that, he doesn't mention that Eddie was also taken by he. And that was the last time we heard about her up until now. We've recently heard about the children once again in ZETSUBOU no SHIMA. Just to recap, Samantha was taken and she's being returned back to Maxis. Now Maxis, in this radio, gives us some more information about that.
Reality itself is shifting. I find myself reflecting on memories I am no longer sure are my own. Beyond the window, I saw a wasteland stretching as far as the eye could see. I saw a scourge visited upon the earth. I saw the children withered before my eyes. That was before he came. Samantha has been returned to me once more. As have you, Edvard. As have you.
Reality itself is shifting. I find myself reflecting on memories I am no longer sure are my own. Beyond the window, I saw a wasteland stretching as far as the eye could see. I presume right now when he's writing this, or when he was thinking about this, Maxis was in his house, in the Origins house that we see in the cutscene, looking out of the window. He says he saw a wasteland stretching as far as the eye could see. I saw a scourge visited upon the earth. Scourge means a whip used for punishment or instrument, so basically just a whip that you would use to, in this case I would presume, harm people, but I don't think he's using it in that definition. Scourge means a person or thing that causes great trouble or suffering. So getting back to this, I saw a wasteland stretching as far as the eye could see. I saw a scourge, so he saw either a person or something that causes great harm and pain visit upon the earth. The scourge could be referring to it could be, I don't know, the rockets that came down to hit Earth. Something hit Earth, something came to Earth that caused Maxis pain. He says, I saw the children withered before my eyes. Now, withered means something dry or shriveled, or something that falls into a decay or a decline. What comes to my mind straight away when you say withered is the children rotting away. Well, for some reason, I don't know why, but I think of Gears of War. I think of these people that we saw in the trailer that are basically turning to dust. They turn to stone, and as soon as you touch them, they turn to dust. Maxis says he saw the children withered before my eyes. The children are outside and something has happened to them. But he says this was before he came. Samantha had been returned to me once more. As have you, Edward. As have you. Now, I want to talk more about that in just a second, but we can see Samantha has been returned to Maxis.
After so long in isolation, we had begun to believe that we were the only survivors of the catastrophic event that had shaped our lives. Supplies were beginning to run low, and I was forced to prepare for the worst outcome. Just as I feared that we were truly alone, just as I feared that the end was near, there was a knock at the door. He explained everything to me. He will explain everything to you. Though his very presence defied logic, defied reason, he told me that he would help. I could not refuse.
He says after so long in isolation, we had begun to believe that we were the only survivors of this catastrophic event that had shaped our lives. Supplies were beginning to run low, and I was forced to prepare for the worst outcome. Just as I feared that we were truly alone, just as I feared that the end was near, there was a knock at the door. He finishes off by saying he explained everything to me. He will explain everything to you. Though his very presence defied logic, defied reason, he told me that he would help and I could not refuse. So there we go. Now to give you a quick overview on what all of that means, because I know that's probably going to be very confusing to you guys. And this is just from my head, so you can correct me if you think I'm wrong in the comment section below. But some type of catastrophic event shaped Earth, or shaped wherever Maxis was living. We don't know if this was the zombie outbreak, if this was some type of alien life form, the apothecans, some type of scourge that caused Maxis pain and harm visited Earth. He said he saw the children withered outside of the windows. But this was before he came. He heard a knocking at the door, which was the shadowy, dark figure. He hit Earth, he came to Earth and knocked at the door of Maxis' house. He said that he could help Maxis, maybe to restore his daughter. If she was withered outside the house, then that could mean that she was dying. Maybe it was to protect her from whatever was trying to get them from the apothecans. Maybe it was to take her away to make sure that she would be safe from this catastrophic event that had happened to Earth and that she would survive. But when he came knocking at Maxis' door, he explained everything to Maxis, and Maxis says he will also explain everything to you, Richtofen. He explained to Maxis and then took Samantha. Now we know Samantha had been missing for several months. She had been gone with and then several months later, he returned her back to Maxis. And now she only wants to cry out for his name. Whether this means she wants him back, whether this means she wants to go back to him, or maybe he did something to her which has left Samantha shocked. We don't know, but after he took her, several months later, he has returned her back to Maxis.
Though his very presence defied logic, defied reason, He told me that he would help. I could not refuse.
And Maxis says, though his presence defied logic, defied reason, he told me he would help, and I could not refuse. And that part's very interesting. Though his presence defied logic, though his presence defied reason. That could give us an idea as to who he is. If his presence defied logic, it doesn't sound like he's human, or if he is human, could this be someone that died? If this is someone that died and is now back alive as a ghost or as someone that Maxis is seeing, if you have someone that you think is dead and you can now see them in front of your door, that for me would defy logic and defy reason. If it's not someone that's come back from the past that Maxis knows, maybe it's an alien life form from another universe or another planet. That again could defy reason, could defy logic. And in fact, I was thinking if you go over to the Eyes of Draka and look in Samantha's room, the quarters where she stayed in the Eyes of Draka along with Maxis, on her walls, you have her drawings. And one of these drawings shows a keeper or some type of manifestation of the ancients, some type of keeper, vril, some form of keeper. But you see this character, this creature, enter Samantha's room through what looks to be a teleporter or through a rift. And they seem to be looking over Samantha and she looks scared. Could this be him? Could this be the person, the character that took Samantha? I mean, a keeper, again, could defy very reason, could defy logic. Keepers are not something we would usually see, so maybe to Maxis, is it possible he is on about this creature? What we are seeing here in Samantha's room, looking over her, is he. Is this the creature that took Samantha and returned her? I mean, why exactly Samantha needed to be taken in the first place? Why exactly Maxis needs help with her? We don't know. Is it to protect her? If it is to protect her, then is it to protect her from the Apothicons? We know right now the Apothicons want the summoning key to open up a gateway to allow all of their other manifestations to enter Earth and inherit and take it for themselves. But could the Apothicons want Samantha for themselves? Maybe she enhances or holds some type of power that the Apothicons could use, and so instead of the summoning key, could also take Samantha. And because of that, we know the Keepers are trying to stop the Apothicons from getting their hands on the summoning key. Because of this, they could also take Samantha, keep her safe, because that's also part of their goal. They don't want the Apothicons to get their hands on the summoning key or any type of power. And if Samantha has some type of power, I mean, in Origins, we see her playing with these toys, and although by now we know that's not in her head, the Origins cutscene is actually what takes place in our game. We see her playing with these characters, and it seems like whatever she does with these characters actually happens in another universe or in the same universe. It actually happens in real life. Whatever she does in her head with these characters is what we do. Still not sure on that, but if that's true, then Samantha may very well hold some type of power. There may be something special about her. I mean, with her father being a member of Group 935, in fact the leader of Group 935, anything is possible. We don't know if she was infected by it, or maybe she was enhanced with some type of power of Element 115, but if she was, then that could be a very good reason for the Apothicons to want to take Samantha so they could use her powers for themselves, and that would be a very good reason for the Keepers to also want to take Samantha from Maxis and keep her safe, so the Apothicons can't get their hands on her. I don't know, that's just another theory and something else I thought of, but this is very interesting and is something I cannot wait for them to explain more. Who do you think he is? Is he this person we're seeing in the Eyes of Draka? Is he a keeper? Is he some type of alien life form we have yet to see? Is he a character that's come back from the dead? Is he just a normal human that has taken Samantha? Whoever he is, we know he took Samantha to help Maxis out and has now returned her. But it seems like Samantha is calling out for his name. Either she wants him back or he did something to her. And now it seems like Maxis regrets sending her away, but he says I could not refuse. If he couldn't refuse, then maybe whatever he could do, Maxis couldn't. Whether this was to protect Samantha, maybe that's something that Maxis himself didn't have the power to do. However, Maxis does say that he will explain everything to us in the future. So I really do think in DLC4 we are going to be seeing him, or at least if we don't see him, we are going to be hearing from him. Maxis says he is going to explain everything to us. Why he took the children, why he has returned Samantha, what he did, where they went to, all of this will be explained in the future. But for now, I really do hope this helped. Thank you so much for watching the video. It's taken me ages to gather all of this information. So if you could just take a second out of your time and leave me a like rate, and if you have watched this far, comment he in quotation marks. Thank you for watching. Make sure you are subscribed and I'll see you all in the next video. I love you guys and peace out.